Hi, we are moving on to the section called Climate in the Midwest region packet, and I'm going to go over the questions first prior to reading. So if we look at our packet and we see, it's the second page, Climate. These are the before and after questions. There's just two in this section where you'll answer true or false. The first one is, part of the Midwest is called Tornado Alley because it gets so many tornadoes. So before reading, do you think that that is true or false? Again, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just what you think before we read. And question 2 is, the Midwest usually has very gentle weather. What do you think, true or false? And number 1. So these are the questions we will try to pay close attention, listening for the answers to these questions in the climate section. How does the winter weather in the Midwest affect people who live there? How does it affect them, that winter weather? And 2, how does the spring weather in the Midwest affect people who live there? So the warmer spring weather, how does it affect the people? Okay, so let's listen for the answers on those two. Let me scroll, and if you could flip to, it does say page 2 at the bottom on climate. It's in, like, here it is. It's in this gray area here. When I do see a picture of that tornado. Okay, climate. The Midwest can have severe weather. It has no oceans nearby to warm the land in winter and cool it in the summer. So the winters are very cold and the summers are very hot. The winters are long and harsh. In the winter, storms called blizzards bring heavy snow and freezing winds. In the winter months, the Soo Locks are closed because of ice on the Great Lakes. Spring brings hailstorms that drop hailstones or lumps of ice instead of rain. In the spring and summer, there are tornadoes with strong whirling winds. Parts of the Midwest region is called Tornado Alley because it has a very high number of very destructive tornadoes. People who live in Tornado Alley are aware that tornadoes pose a potential danger for them. Buildings in this area have strong roofs and foundations that are tethered to the structures. Many people have storm cellars, underground shelters that provide people from a tornado. Neighborhood tornado sirens warn people when tornadoes are about to happen. Plants and animals also adapt to the climate. Prairie grass has deep roots to find water. Some birds migrate to warmer places in the winter. Prairie dogs live underground. Bison have thick fur to help them survive the cold winters. Millions of bison once lived in the Great Plains. Hunters killed most of them for their skins. Then people started protecting bison. Now there are about 150,000 bison in the United States. And that concludes our section on climate. So let's go back to the questions. If you could find that in the other packet, the questions that we just read, let's go and take a look at these now. Okay, so we'll look at the before and after questions first, and now see what you think after we read that section on climate. First one, part of the Midwest is called Tornado Alley because it gets so many tornadoes. Do you think that's true or false? Now, in the after column, and again, just as a reminder, you can pause at any time if you need more time answering any of the questions. If I'm going too quickly or you need a little additional time, please feel free to pause. Number 2, the Midwest usually has very gentle weather. True or false? After reading, is it always gentle weather? And number 1, how does the winter weather in the Midwest affect the people who live there? How does that winter weather affect the people in the Midwest? Again, go ahead and feel free to pause if you need a little extra time. That could take a while if you need to go back and look in the climate section for your answer. And number 2, how does the spring weather in the Midwest affect the people who live there? So the first, number 1, was about the winter weather affecting people, and the effects, number 2, is how the spring weather affects people that live in the Midwest. Okay. And we will conclude there on climate.